What's going on, guys? Thanks for stopping by for another installment of Let's Talk Handhelds Part 5. And here we are talking about the Sony PSP, which I've got right in here, my handy dandy little travel case. I've had this little console for quite a while. I didn't really have it as a kid. I got it back before I started working at Disc Replay in 2012, probably a couple years before that. But it was kind of a big deal because it was like the first big thing that I bought with all store credit, and I don't know, I was just really excited. It only sold for about like $70 back then because it's the old fat model, and they've all probably gone up in value since then. But yeah, it was pretty exciting. So here's what's inside the case. There we've got some games. We've got games like Third Birthday, and we've got God of War: Chains of Olympus. Also got some Metal Slug Double X, great one. And then we've got Star Wars Battlefront, which one is this? Renegade Squadron. So those are actually all the physical games I have. It's the inside of the case. I went with this one because it had a weird design inside. Thought that was kind of cool. And here's the Chunky Boy PSP, the OG model. Still works. It's got a, how to write it down, 8 GB card inside, which those were proprietary. They're a little bit different shape than your standard camera SD card. And I just thought that this design, there's my Aloy wallpaper, this design was just a little bit more comfortable to hold than the slimmer models. The slimmer ones are a little bit sexier, but the chunky, the fat one is just a little bit more comfortable. And when you compare this to like the Vita or the Switch later on, it's just nice that we have full-size buttons, face buttons. Why couldn't we get that on like a current or more recent handheld? And that D-pad, oh, I love that D-pad. I love that D-pad more than the D-pad on the Vita even. And just all the buttons are just so stinking comfortable. And there's just, the only thing bad is that stupid little analog nub, and that's just the worst thing ever. I hate it. I hate it so much. There's just no getting around that. So they definitely improved that with the Vita and other systems. So why don't we dive in for a closer look, see what's on the SD card. So this was actually like the first handheld system in general that I modified, and it's pretty easy to do. It's definitely a lot easier than the Vita. It's cool because natively, obviously, you put your games in right there, just like so. It's funny, back in the day, in the Disc Replay days, I had a customer that actually took the UMD apart and put the disc in there without it and thought that's how it boots up the game, when indeed no, you gotta keep that boy in the UMD, otherwise it won't be doing squat for you. But anyways, it's kind of cool because natively, obviously, you can put your own photos on there, which I've got some. You can put some music tracks, which was cool at the time before MP3 players were super mainstream, and obviously before smartphones, you could put some videos on there. But the main attraction is the GURMS. So just give it a hot second here. We got a lot of games here, and this is just on a, what did I say, 332? No, an 8 GB micro SD card, which is pretty impressive. We've got some Harry Potter games, all 3 of those PSP ones. I don't know why the sound isn't working all of a sudden. It's tired. But you got some emulators like Master Boy, so you can play Game Boy games. There's the sound. Indiana Jones. You got Toy Story 3. Yep. My favorite, Dante's Inferno. I love the console version, and I still am blown away by how great this ported over to the PSP of all systems. I mean, the PSP was just so ahead of its time. It was just so cool, and this game works so great. It's I mean, if you've never played it in like God of War, definitely check out Dante's Inferno. I've replayed it on Vita, and it was amazing. Got some junk there. Super Nintendo emulator, Pico Drive, which I always forget what that one was. Oh, it's the Genesis one. Which some of these were working better than others. I've never had any luck with N64 emulation on anything I've owned, but oh well. Nestor J. We got some NES games in that one. Some more random files. And then you got the delicious PS1 games, like some more Harry Potter. Some Xena, Resi. Got some couple Resi games. I actually got pretty far in the OG Spyro, but dang, it is hard. The controls are so hard. Basically anything 3D Resident Evil. Played a lot of Resident Evil 3 and a lot of Spyro 1 on this thing, but it is rough. Game Boy Advance is great on here, along with the Game Boy original and whatever Master Boy plays. A couple different Master Boys on here. So yeah, I don't know. I guess we could take a look at some of the GURMs on here. Super Nintendo. They work okay. Yeah, let's see here. See what wants to boot up. So you got games like Clay Fighter and Contra. Pretty much all the games that I own physically, I like to back up and play on here. Now, I fired up Earthworm Jim 2, which I had never played before, and that was really chugging hard. So as years pass, and I'm seeing all these different third-party unofficial kind of emulator handhelds, I'm understanding why people don't gravitate towards the PSP as much anymore, because there's definitely more powerful options available, but it's still nice that this exists. So here's a peek inside the NES emulator. You got Batman, which runs really well on here. Got a bunch of Contra, Castlevania games as well. Got some Mario sprinkled in, Ninja Gaiden. A lot of these games I never really played too much of, but it's still nice to know that they're on here and they work pretty well. Now just showing off one more. This is the Game Boy Advance one, and this is just a trip of nostalgia here. It's basically just all those games that you may have seen me talk about in my Game Boy Advance video all in one spot here. This would just have blown my little Caleb's mind back in the day. Just all of it right here digitally, and it's just like, I don't know. It's just kind of a trip. Seeing like Daredevil and Spider-Man, Pirates of the Caribbean, Van Helsing, just all of them right here. And honestly, I think they work pretty close to flawlessly. Let's try this one at random. Nightmare Before Christmas. This one was pretty good. Got it later on, but yeah, it boots right up. Anything that's 2D works really great on here, and it's just so super comfortable because your thumb is naturally right there on the D-pad, which is going to be better than using the little slider thingy here. The operating system is a little bit sluggish going in and out of different emulators and stuff, but I mean, if you've got a little bit of patience, it's definitely worth it. Also, what's kind of weird is this is kind of your select button, the O or the 0 instead of using the X, so you kind of got to get used to that, because this would have been A and that would have been B on the Game Boy. But that's Nintendo for you, just kind of backwards a little bit. Yep, and there it goes. It's firing right up. I never really got too far in this one. It's pretty challenging. Ooh. But yeah, that's kind of it in a nutshell. Different games on the PSP. This was really cool at the time when I got it jailbroken and everything. And it's just amazing all the different stuff that you can do with it. So, but yeah, that is the PSP in a really small nutshell. Thanks for tuning in for this video, and I'll see you in the next one.